Dudes, welcome back. It's Grisaia no Kajitsu, episode 12. Last episode, they told a bunch of ghost stories. He's going after this one, because she's being real spooky, and he wants to find out why she's being real spooky, because she didn't show up to the ghost stories, but she usually shows up to the ghost stories. So, yeah, that's probably what this conversation's going to be about this time. Let's get right into it. Just my imagination. God, that was close, you know. Indeed, Sakaki-san's instincts are remarkably sharp. When you're being followed by this many people, of course you're going to notice. Yesterday evening, I tried lightly asking the others about Sakaki's daily life and habits. But the answers I received in return provided much flimsier information than I'd expected. The one thing we know about Sakaki Imiko is that she doesn't let people see much about herself, much less her private life. Our only real glimpses of her thoughts are hints from her gestures and body language. In short, Sakaki's lifestyle is a vaguely defined mystery even to the people she's been living with. Without an active effort and added observation, things are likely to stay that way.
That's exactly why we're investigating Yumi-chan's habits, you know.
Probably 80% out of ideal curiosity, Makina and Sachi ended up volunteering to cooperate with my investigation. That cooperation has taken the form of an incredibly sloppy tailing operation that was nearly given away in a matter of seconds. To be honest, they're nothing but a burden, Makina in particular. I asked the wrong people.
What's the matter?
No, forget it. If things get bad, it's every man for himself. Damn. Putting aside any reflection of the basic question of why we're doing this for... Putting aside any reflection on the basic question of why we're doing this for later, we continue our investigation of the highly mysterious Sakaki. This has a lot of just lines that are just written weird.
My sore feet, I'm tired.
Lying limply on her side on the sofa in the lobby, Makina mumbles a few grammatically scrambled words of complaint.
In the end, we didn't find out anything.
Sachi flops down next to me, heaving a tired sigh herself. Well, her guard was even tighter than anticipated. After spending an entire day following Sakaki's every movement outside of class, we gained absolutely no new information. During her free period, she reads book in absorbed silence. Her pace in school is always steady and regular, without any suspicious hasty movement. What's
She doesn't feel human. She's a robot or a walking rock.
What's the key to go forward? Oh. Just as Makina says, Sakaki's behavior was reminiscent of a machine.
Yes, I felt as though I was watching a cyborg.
You're one to... Well, whatever. You're not wrong. God, is that... What's it? Oh my god, hold on. It's just going forward. Hold on. Whatever, you're not wrong, but I don't think I can be satisfied with this. I'm just skipping everywhere. I'm just going to keep to the mouse. From what I heard yesterday, Sakaki doesn't dislike being in a group with others. Even if she doesn't participate in the conversation, the way she's constantly lingering at the edge is easily comprehensible from the perspective of human psychology. That doesn't fit with her machine-like actions in the daytime. In the first place, does she ever let her emotions show in her face? Apart from the hospitality Sakaki showed me at first, I haven't seen any evidence of an emotional reaction from her.
Come to think of it, although it might not be exactly the same thing.
Sachi raises her hand and speaks somewhat hesitantly.
I have seen Sakaki-san startled.
Startled?
Yes.
Sakaki, it doesn't seem like she'd bat an eyelid even if the dorm exploded under her. What kind of surprise got a reaction out of her? In response to my question, Sachi continues in slightly hushed tones.
I don't think Sakaki-san would be pleased to know I was telling you this, but it was an incident involving instant yakisoba.
Instant yakisoba?
Yes, Uyang's yakisoba with sauce, equipped with a hole for easily draining of the hot water. It boils within 3 minutes.
Not interested in the brand name or product features. What does that have to do with Sakaki?
When making instant yakisoba, you need to drain the hot water, of course.
God, is she gonna burn herself?
When you dump the water into the sink, the metal reacts and makes a booming sound, yes?
True, it'll make sound if you dump it all at once.
Yes, and exactly that happened to Sakaki-san.
Dude, she's gonna get spooked.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's why we don't have metal sinks.
The yakisoba. Oh well.
She just leaves it, damn.
Sakaki-san, are you just leaving this? Then I cleaned up for her and left.
Oh, Sakaki did that? With that, the cool and calm appearance, you'd never think she'd be startled by something as small as that. In reality, she must have had a pretty low tolerance for sudden scares. I kind of want to see that side of Sakaki, but I'm not particularly likely to run into her at the exact moment she's draining her instant noodles. And given Sakaki's personality, I doubt she'll make the same mistake twice anyway. Although I wouldn't mind seeing her cautiously filling the sink, preparing a strainer, or intensely drowning the hot water either.
That sounds cool. I want to see too.
Unfortunately, I doubt she'll do that twice.
That's just the hot water thing, though. We could use another method, you know.
What? Machina lightly jumps off the couch, floating a diabolical grin.
We just need to ambush Yumi-kun and scare the heck out of her.
What are you saying?
That sounds fun, but wouldn't Sakaki-san's surprise quickly turn to anger?
Just as Sachi says, when you consider the aftermath, trying to stunt like that on Sakaki seems like a very dangerous plan.
I can handle it myself, don't worry. She won't find out, so it's all good.
Machina's malicious curiosity seems to outweigh her awareness of the risk.
Sachi-san, she's coming back soon?
Yeah, ETA to the front door is approximately 2 minutes. Intelligence arrives from our detached unit, namely Sachi.
Now we just wait for the target to approach.
Is this really going to work?
My plan's flawless. You just sit back and enjoy the show. Hooray, Oni-chan.
Just as Machina says, I'm hidden near the hallway, observing the scene.
I wonder if there's really anything capable of surprising Yumiko. Wait, why is Chibi here anyway? None of your business, I was just curious.
Sakaki climbs her way up the stairs, approaching the second floor hallway. This is intense, dude. In that instant, Machina calls out instructions into her cell phone.
Do it!
At Machina's signal, Sachi cuts the breaker to the hallway from the other side of the phone call.
Huh? What the?
Sakaki's taken aback for a brief moment. A blackout? What a nuisance. But her voice quickly regains its usual steadiness. Once again, her footsteps ring out in regular rhythm.
Most likely, the target, due to her scaredy cat nature, will be on the edge of the blackout.
Right as Sakaki approaches the door to her room, Machina presses a switch in her hand.
What the?
Sakaki twirls around at the odd noise, but finds nothing more than the flower pot sitting demurely on a nearby shelf. In an unremarkable earthenware pot, there's nothing but a small decorative plant.
Phew.
Sakaki sighs in relief after discovering the innocuous origin of the strange sound, but she hasn't taken her eyes off the houseplant yet.
On top of that, by letting her taste momentarily relief, we get her guard down.
As Machina whispers these words, she presses the switch a second time. Just then, kaplop! The perfectly normal houseplant abruptly ejects. The perfectly normal houseplant abruptly splits in two down the middle. From its depth, an object resembling a giant eyeball emerges. Although it might be different under bright lighting, seeing this thing pop out of you in the dark must be something of a shock. Ah! As expected, Sakaki freezes dead on the spot, her eyes and mouth open wide. Something that might be an attempt at speech, it might be a simple gasp leaks out of her mouth. After a moment, she draws in a great breath of air. Yeah! God, I can't yell, everyone would be pissed at me. And in a loud voice that I never could have imagined emerging from Sakaki's mouth, she screams. The sound echoes throughout the dorms.
What the?
It's not just that, she's loud. Unlike her normal, low, vaguely threatening tone, Sakaki's voice right now is remarkably girly. Although I feel at least a little sorry for Sakaki as she trembles in terror. This is truly interesting spectacle.
Oh, Yumi-chan got nice and startled. Let's see what's her face look like. Is it lewd? You're evil, truly evil. Hey, cheer, move over already. I can't see that well. Hey, don't push Machina.
Wow. Oh god, they're gonna fall, and she sees them, dude. Losing their balance, Machina and Michiru tumble from their hiding position, landing in front of Sakaki.
What?
At this point, Sakaki finally grasps the nature of the situation.
Hey, Yumiko, what's up? Seems like a blackout, huh? Wow, blackout out of nowhere, weird.
Just then Sachi returns with exquisitely bad timing.
Well done, everybody. Mission success.
Oh! After adding some exquisitely unhelpful lines. Oh, I'm going to save this one as well. That's a good pose right there. Well, I gotta get the mouse out of the way. After adding some exquisitely unhelpful lines, she clamps her mouth shut. Dude, she's pissed. Yumiko looks around the faces of everybody on the scene and then glances down at herself.
What's the meaning of this?
The tone of her voice has completely returned to normal.
Well, this is, a bit of a long story. Yeah, Chiru made us do it. Set up. Chiru had fun too, so you're an accessory to the crime. Now you gotta do the time. God, then you do it too. Don't just blame it all on me. I see, although I don't understand your motives, it seems this is your doing.
Damn the box cutter, dude.
I assume you're prepared to face the consequences of your actions. Please calm yourself, Sakaki-san.
Dude, cheese it.
Yumi-chan's mad! Hey, what are you chasing after me? Wait, no!
As the perpetrators scatter around the dorm, Sakaki tracks down Michiru. There's murder in her eyes. Michiru's dead. She's waving her box cut around like the incarnation of wrath. Where did that person who let out that cute scream go? Don't think she's gonna calm down anytime soon. Turning my back on the violent turmoil taking place on the upper floors, I head downstairs myself. Wow, such a good scene, dude. That was so much better than the cold one. Yo, you're up early. I thought I would head to school ahead of time in order to avoid having to deal with any vile pranks. After that, Sakaki caught the criminals and beat the details out of them as they groveled in penance before her. As a related party myself, I was called before her to receive my own interrogation. In the end, she heaved a truly exasperated sigh, and without any particular retaliation, returned to her room with heavy footsteps. Good idea. Don't know about Sachi, but Makina and Michiru are probably still asleep. Sorry. Sakaki reaches her hand into her pocket, presumably containing her box cutter, glaring reproachfully at me. I raise my hands dramatically over my head and attempt to demonstrate my lack of hostile intent. In response, Sakaki sighs deeply, passes by my side, and strides off quickly in direction of the school building. God, I gotta get all these stills again for the thumbnails. So, mind if I ask you something? Do you seriously intend to humiliate me even further? As I follow a few steps behind her, Sakaki answers my question with her own, her voice hard with an attempt at intimidation. I'm not looking to tease you or look down at you. It really is just a question. Fine, then make it brief. Did you know everybody had a late-night gathering in the lobby 2 days ago? I suppose so. So she was aware of it after all. If you knew about it, why didn't you join in? From what the others told me, you don't particularly dislike that sort of event. If me being there made it awkward to join in, could you say why? I need to know before I can... Oh, God, wrong person. If me being there made it awkward to join in, could you say why? I need to know before I can try to correct my behavior. I'm clearly an alien existence in the school, much less the dorm. I don't intend to trample on the native people's territorial rights or the dignity of their culture. God damn, dude. Not that I plan to be particularly submissive either, but still. As much as possible, I'd like to aim for peaceful coexistence, meaning I need to understand the boundaries I shouldn't cross. For that reason, I want to know why Sakaki absented, that's a weird word, absented herself the other day, especially if it's connected with me in some way. It's not there's anything you need to correct. Okay, in that case, why? In response to my question, she hesitates for a moment. Rather than being uncomfortable... Oh god, that's a yawn. Rather than being uncomfortable about speaking her feelings to me, I get the sense that she's reluctant to admit the truth to herself. After a silence of about 20 seconds, Sakaki finally speaks. I hate scary stories. Truly unexpected words. What did you just say just now? You don't have to look that surprised. Apparently my face is easy to read, as Sakaki reproaches me with a resentful expression. Like you said, I don't dislike gathering there, but just leave it alone. Everyone has things they don't enjoy. Judging from the way she got scared by the sound of a sink denting and the dramatic success of the prank yesterday, I didn't gather she was your standard scaredy cat, but it just feels weird hearing her actually come out and admit it. Yeah, nothing's wrong with that. It just seems really out of your character. Let me take my earlier words back. I found out something for you to change about yourself. What? That insensitivity. How about being a little considerate once in a while? After Sakaki speaks those words, she makes a beeline towards the school building without stopping or looking back again. From her dignified bearing, there's not the slightest hint of a person who shrieked at that prank. Guess I should just leave this alone from now on. As a first step towards meeting my apparent insensitivity, I decided to refrain from teasing her further. At any rate, through this incident, I've discovered that even this stone-faced cutter woman has her cute side. God, that's the end of episode 12. Wow, that was so much fun. We're delving more into her. We've had, I think, at this point, like, solo moments with everybody, I think? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, honestly, that might be it. So we might actually, like, start having some story happen. Might actually have some progression now that we've, like, learned about all of them. So, yeah, I'm excited for episode 12. This one was 12. So the next one's going to be 13. Oof. Good times. Okay, bye.